Welcome to the P.T.S.D podcast with your host, comedian and military veteran, Bernard the Laugh Therapist Hines, where we discuss P.T.S.D, processing traumatic situations differently, and give you tools to help you overcome the stigma of seeking help. If you're ready to be inspired, then welcome to the Stigma-Free Zone. Here's your host, the Laugh Therapist himself, Bernard Hines.
What up, everybody? What up, everybody? How are y'all doing? It's your boy, Bernard Hines, a.k.a. the Laugh Therapist. And welcome to the PTSD, Processing Traumatic Situations Differently podcast. Here, we try to inform, enlighten, and become advocates for one another as we learn more productive ways to process our trauma. Always remember, as a therapist, I am not licensed. I'm just medicated. Welcome to the Stigma-Free Zone. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Wherever you listen to this podcast all around the world, thank y'all for tuning in and subscribing to this page. I am blown away by how much our people are telling me they're listening, how they're being inspired, and that's what it's all about. And as you all know, I'm not a licensed therapist. I am only medicated. Please do not stop seeing your therapist from what you hear on this show. These are just resources. And if you are feeling emotionally overwhelmed by today's content, please step away and regroup. Today, I have a great guest, Miss Deborah Vines-Epps. Met this young lady at a comedy show. I started talking about military stuff, and she knew more than I ever could. So I just shut my mouth and started listening to her. So right now, y'all, put your hands together, coming to the stage, Miss Deborah Vines-Epps. How you doing, Miss Deborah?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Yes.
It is awesome. You are doing a lot of great things. Like I said, I met you at a comedy show, and then you asked me, I said I was retired, and you started asking me some questions. I'm like, oh, hold up. I don't think I have all my affairs in order. You were shooting it to me. You bow. Do you got this? Do you got this? Do you got this?
Yeah.
I'm here to do comedy. I ain't here to get beat up. I'm here to talk. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. This first, I want to say this. Even though I serve on many platforms where I help people. I know that on this platform, sharing it with a veteran who has a lot of the same commonalities as it brings down a lot of the things that you feel like people would stigmatize you about. And so I like when you say this is stigma free, this is a non-judgmental zone, because some people either they can't relate or they're trying to understand. So it is an honor and a privilege to be here amongst someone who take this thing that is so serious and have, captured it in a capacity where it's laughter, it's fun, but it also shows that it's something serious.
Correct.
So thank you.
Thank you. I've always believed that if you got tough subjects, if you can put some type of humor into it and make it palatable for people to understand and people to receive it. So
yes.
So right now, tell me a little about who Miss Deborah is.
And this has always been the most difficult thing for me because I can tell everybody how good they are.
Okay.
But it's hard to tell you, tell people how good you are. So I'm going to try my best where I don't feel like I'm, overshadowing anything. But I'm a little woman from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. That's where I was born and raised, small town, Rocky Mount. And I received my bachelor's degree at Elizabeth City State University. And then I joined the military.
All right. After
joining the military, I then came to Virginia, where I ended up once I retired in July of 2021.
So I say, what branch?
The Army. Cool. Cool, right?
I just wanted folks to get that out the way.
You know what? You're right because when you say you retire in Virginia, they say, "Oh, you're Navy." They think it's automatic Navy. No, Army. Thank you. So when I came here along my journey, I did receive my master's degree in social work. So I am a therapist. by nature. I've always liked to help people. I've always wanted to give back.
Okay.
And so this has been my mission. And because of that, we opened up a cleaning company, Tiny Giant. I am the Tiny Giant only because first the name was DNA. So Deborah and Andre, right?
Okay.
And then when my mother-in-law passed from pancreatic cancer, it was very sudden. We found a journal, and in her journal, it said, "I'm so glad that my son met a tiny giant."
Wow.
Right. And so I immediately changed the name. It's also on the website, tinygiantva.com. It explains, how Tiny Giant name evolved. And when people see me in statue as tiny, but I'm a giant when it comes down to what I give back and what I stand for.
So you and Mr. Andre, y'all work together?
Yes, we do.
My wife had a cleaning business and I got fired. Yeah, I got fired. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But let me tell you. So I'm laughing because he has his own capacity, right? He handles certain things, with it. So it's not really like he's employed with it, but he's like, look, I do my own thing. You do that. You got it. You need me. I'm there for you.
There you go. That OCD cleaning, I got fired and I was glad to be fired. I was
happy. Right.
I didn't need to apply for unemployment. I was just ready to walk away.
Hey, because we're very particular about what we want.
Yes.
We are. Oh, I see the videos about the wife with the OCD, the closet and everything. I see it.
Goodness. That's good. So with this Tiny Giant, how did that, I mean, that had to make you feel good. That
it did. It did. I think it really, no, I'm not going to say think. I know it gave the purpose as to why, because when I first opened the business before I got out the military, I knew I wanted to do something. So when I retired, I could fall back on something, right? Still give it back. Cleaning is a part of therapy too. It was a therapy for me. It is, right? At the time, not knowing what I was going through in my mind from a lot of stuff from, the trauma, cleaning was the one thing, and exercising was the one thing that I could get into my zone, Bernard, and I could turn my music on and I could just clean, right? It was a part of therapy. And so I didn't know it was going to get as big as it is, right? I didn't. I started out from just cleaning someone's apartment, a friend of mine's. When the property manager came in, she said, "Who cleaned this house?" Right? Because I put the stove out, did all of that. I'm a person that when I start something, I want it to be top notch. I'm that overachiever, right?
Wow.
And so she said, "I want her to do my entire apartment complex." Bernard, I didn't have a business license. I didn't have business insurance. I didn't have staff, employees, nothing. And I'm still working.
Wow.
But the person I am, and not knowing what was going on in here, right? Staying busy, overcompensating, that it was overcompensating some of the things that I wasn't ready to address. But Tiny Giant evolved from that.
Wow.
Right? Tiny Giant evolved, and then now the funeral home, Presidential Funeral Services, evolved as well after I retired. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Oh, I have a husband, Andre, yes, who is the calmness to my storm.
I got
That's the best way I can put it. He is the calmness to my storm.
Correct.
And I have two boys. I have a 16-year-old. Ernest Jones, we call him EJ, and I have a 6-year-old who's Ezekiel. He's my third deployment baby. Yeah, third deployment. 6 to 16. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing you say that because my
right.
My daughter and my youngest son are deployment babies.
Yes. See, look, we know what that means when you say deployment babies, right? We know what it means to be away for months and come back. And
that is amazing. That is amazing. So with you leaving the military, how was that? Was that transition hard? I mean, because you was an officer, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So how was that transition from the military? How was that for you? Because you used to being in charge.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Okay, okay. Come
Don't
on.
do that to me. Hey, Bernard, oh my gosh. It was a struggle. See, I thought
Okay.
it was going to be easy.
Right. Okay.
Like,
Me too.
oh, I
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
But when life kicked in and the structure of the military and the non-structure in the civilian sector, it made my anxiety worse. It
Okay.
made my control worse. I didn't realize how much I needed or wanted to be in control of people until I got out the military.
Wow.
I didn't, because in the military, it becomes the norm. It's your daily routine. It's a pattern, and we're comfortable with patterns,
Right.
right?
Right.
But when you are faced with the uncertainty, people always say we want life to be like a straight line, but you're not ready for that zigzag, right?
Correct.
And I wasn't. I
Okay.
wasn't. And so for me, I knew the knowledge piece of how to
Mhm.
transition. I knew that. I knew the importance of registering with the VA within 5 years of deploying. I knew that. I knew the importance of going to my VA medical appointments.
Mhm.
See, at that time when I retired, the VA and the military was just transitioning together where they
Yes.
give you 90 days from retirement to start seeing the VA. See,
Yep.
I didn't have that when I retired.
Me either.
You
Me.
had to wait until your orders were expired before you went to your VA appointments,
Mhm. Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Even now, the transition for me is I'm still transitioning, but I'm transitioning through helping others.
Come on now.
And that's still my transition because even though I know a lot, I don't know everything,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And so what I do is I have really, I won't say partnered with the DA, but Miss Denise is one, like she's like the president. I
Okay.
maybe said her title wrong, but DAV chapter in Portsmouth. Oh my gosh. People can, we have so many VSOs, veteran
Mhm.
services organizations, but I deal with her directly. And
Okay.
so with my transition, when I met her, I never let her go. And so she helped me tie the loose end with the veterans to make sure they have everything they need.
Wow.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
and and that's needed. That is
It
needed
is.
for what we didn't have when we came up. We want to make sure that people are get because in the military it said we don't want to leave anybody behind.
Mm,
So in my mind, I feel like if I'm helping someone, I'm being
mm.
productive. That's the only way I can say it. I feel like I'm being productive. And for what you do, it seems like that is what helps you.
It does.
Mhm.
Bernard, you know what? My friends, my family, my husband tell me all the time, and you can see my posture when I do this, I feel much more comfortable because I'm about to talk about something that gives back, right?
Okay. Okay.
I often neglect myself because the confirmation of knowing that I'm helping others in a capacity where it's either gaps of services,
Okay.
limited information, or the person's ability to have the lack of knowledge to go out and research. That's where I feel the gap.
Okay.
Because too often as veterans, you know how they say Google is your best friend?
Mhm.
Sometimes veterans think talking to other veterans is a good thing. It is in some capacity, but a lot of times people will say, well, this veteran told me all I need to do is this, and this, and I'll tell them.
Right.
Everybody's situation is different.
Different. Yep. There you go.
So every veteran that's watching this, whether you are still in the military and you are going to discharge or you are already out the military,
Mhm.
please know your situation is different from everybody else's situation. And that's where I bridge the gap. And I sit down with them and I do
Mhm.
not charge. It's free, Bernard.
Yeah, that's how it's FREE. Good Lord, have
Bernard
mercy.
is free.
I know. Yeah.
It's free because I know of many companies that charge
Mhm.
for one to sit down with you for a consultation. Two, they'll say it's free, but when they get to a point of doing the hard work, they want to charge you and get a percentage for what you get. I'm
Mhm.
not doing that. I'm giving back
Wow.
because I
And
did my research.
correct. And because of that, you are being blessed.
I am. Let me
You're
tell
being
you,
you're being blessed.
God is good. I am 41 years old. I have always did a 5-year interior 10-year plan, right?
Okay.
And I found this before I retired. I had on my 10-year plan when I was in my undergrad, and it said I wanted to retire before the age 40. Now, retirement looks different for a lot of people.
There you go.
Okay. For me, retirement means that everything can be taken care of and I can still live the same lifestyle that I lived when I was working.
Okay.
Okay. That's for me. And that's having the investment set up, whether it's for my family or for me that I can use if I need to.
Okay.
I did that. I've had a TSP, right? Which is a
Mm.
thrift savings plan, somewhat like a 401k.
Right.
I now have my retirement pay and I am 100% permanent and total. On top of, I have the extra pay as well. So that's the combat specialty pay that's added to my 100% pay. So I'm okay.
Aren't you?
I'm okay.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Everything else that I choose to do, people say, you went and did the funeral home and you still have the cleaning company. Well, the cleaning company, thank God, is at a point where I have great people in place.
Okay.
Great people in place, you know, that it still can operate. I'm still involved, but I don't have to be as involved.
Day to day. Correct.
Day to day. The funeral home is the one where it's not all a funeral home is meant to do what it's going to do. It's going to take care of loved ones when you pass away. But that's the difference with presidential. We given the free services because I am a veteran. We do free veteran benefits for disability. I sit down with you and I go over everything with you for free. We do free living wills. We do free last will and testaments. We do free power of attorneys and free medical advance directives. And your free pre-burials. Right? It's life before and after death, Bernard.
Correct. Correct. You have to. That there is no need not to have it now. If there's a service that's provided, and that's what you provide. You provide a service.
I do.
You provide
I do.
But
I do.
We're gonna talk about all the services you provide, but in that, how does your anxiety help and hurt? Because I'm gonna give you an example. My anxiety helps me on stage. I mean, that anxiety is what I need.
Yeah.
Off stage, my anxiety drives the people around me crazy.
Bernard, that's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
That's me. Let me ask you this. Is it more or less the ones that you're close with that it drives them crazy?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
And like my best friends and mom and my kids, they handle it a whole lot better than they used to, but yeah.
Yep. Bernard, you're right. So to answer your question, remember I keep saying overcompensating, right?
Right.
I didn't realize being that overachiever and the overcompensation was to suppress and help with coping with the traumatic stress, right? The PTSD.
Yeah.
Yes. And so my loved ones, that's my cousins who I'm close with, my best friends. I have 3 best friends, and my husband and my children. They had to learn, like my cousins, they know that I always want to be in control.
Okay.
Whenever it's something going on, she want the last say, so let her have it. Like it's to that point, they know.
Okay.
If I don't get that, I isolate, I become aggravated, I become upset. I may say something that I may regret later, right? I'm a lot better with it. But my anxiety goes through the roof because now we're planning something and I need to know what's going on. I need to be a part of the planning. I need, right? Instead trying to control things.
Right.
Even with my friends, you know what they'll say to me? Look, y'all already know, just go ahead and let her do it. So they'll let me do it, make me think I'm in control. I say, okay, how y'all do it, how y'all say it. Just let me have my moment. They do that. They say, you know what? And sometimes I catch them, you know, like somebody say something, they stop when you come in the room. I'm like, I already know. I already know. Y'all said something about me because I asked y'all the same question 5 times to make sure y'all did it.
But,
right?
But the thing I like about either you have to accept me or you don't. And so if you decide to put up with me, then just like I put up with some of the stuff that they do.
But Bernard, let's be honest, Bernard, it is kind of selfish though, because it's like we want what we want, how we want it. And we do bend a little bit, right?
I have learned to be in a whole lot. Trust me, I have learned to
Mm.
be in a whole lot because you want people to understand that, or you want folks to think, well, the PTSD is not controlling me. It
You're
is.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
And for me, PTSD, people think that PTSD is just from the military.
it's no.
It's
Yep.
not. A lot of people
It's,
say, oh, when you say you have PTSD, they'll say, oh, you served in the military.
mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it is a major contributor to it, but I'm diagnosed with chronic, so I have severe PTSD.
I'm
Oh,
70%. Mine is
yep. And
high.
see, right. And see, for my PT, I don't mind sharing this because I'm to
Me.
that point now because of
Me.
my therapy, because of things that I'm involved in, right?
Uh-huh.
I have a psychologist, I have a
Mm-hmm.
psychiatrist. Y'all, let's not get those mixed up.
Come on now, say
Psychologist and a psychiatrist, all right?
it.
Psychiatrists are the one that prescribes your medication. They're the one that will meet with you the shortest period of time. How are you
Mm-hmm.
doing with your medications? How is it making you feeling? All right. So okay, let me see. Let's just change the dosage a little bit, or let's just try. You have to wait and see how it makes you feel. That's that's your psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Your psychologist is the one who asks the open-ended questions. They're the ones who, so how are you feeling today? What are the triggers? What are some things? That's your psychologist. So you all please know the difference between the two. It's
And I
good to
have
have
both.
both. You have both.
Yes,
Good,
I have both.
good. Right? And it does not mean that I'm crazy. That's the
Yeah.
stigma.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
crazy. I can talk to myself. You can. That's called self-talk. It is okay to talk to yourself. I
Right.
do it too. And sometimes I do it aloud amongst other people. And at the point, I don't care what people think.
And you
I
know
would
what?
say,
Go. I'm sorry. When people say, "Well," I heard somebody ask me, "Well, how long you gonna have it?" As long as I need them.
right,
Probably to the
Bernard,
day I die.
right. Because Bernard, let me tell you, with being a therapist myself, I have external and internal great locus control.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I burn myself out and I start
Correct.
spiraling.
Correct.
When I spiral, Bernard, she knows. My
Okay.
psychologist knows when I'm spiraling because I have gotten to the point where I have tried to do it all by myself and I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like my mental capacity has went from here to here. And when I
Mm-hmm.
get there, Bernard, I'm a different beast. Literally.
Wow.
I am. And so in that aspect, me having a therapist, a psychologist, groups are great. Exercise is great. Yoga is great. Meditation, all of those things helps me.
Mm-hmm.
And also having somebody like my spouse that I can sit and talk to, even though he may not understand everything and he's trying to understand, just having that person, whether it's your spouse or
Mm-hmm.
someone that you trust, that you know that they're not going to throw it back in your face later
Yes.
in the midst of a disagreement or argument, because that makes you feel even more vulnerable.
And it makes you walk on eggshells with that person because
Woo!
you don't know what I might do, what I might say, when is it gonna come back on me? So let me just I'm not being myself.
Yes.
And you can tell that. That's wow.
Bernard, you know what? The one thing about PTSD, and I say this all the time, um, it's an abnormal that's my normal now. And I never understood that because I honestly thought that with the therapy it would really like go away. I did.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
planted that in my mind to cope with it. But what I realized is that it's not day to day. Every second is is me dealing with it.
Correct.
Anything can trigger me. Anything can take me to the point where I feel like I'm back where I was in that traumatic experience. I'll
Yes.
tell you one thing that I don't mind sharing. My boys cannot hug me around my neck.
Mm.
If they
I
hug me,
got better.
Bernard,
Uh-huh.
and if
Go
they
ahead.
hang on my neck,
Mm-hmm.
my anxiety goes to 100. Where I remember the first time my son did this to me. And in that moment, I forgot he was my son.
Mm.
I I pulled away from him. And what my body and my response wanted to do was how I reacted when I was in that traumatic experience,
Yes,
right?
correct. Right.
And when I processed it with my therapist, I said, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
She said, in that moment, your son poked the bear. I said,
Mm.
what do you mean poke the bear? She said, a person with PTSD always, that bear, she describes that traumatic experience as the bear. She said,
Okay.
the bear is always there. That's the
Always
trauma.
there. Mm-hmm.
She
Yep.
said, when somebody pokes it, that's the trigger. When
Correct.
somebody pokes it, that's the response. She said, when somebody does that, it's taking you back to that experience where you're going to react in a way of protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not stable enough, you could do something to hurt that person.
Correct.
That's when I had to communicate to my boys, mommy love you,
Mm-hmm.
but when you come show mommy attention, don't pull on mommy neck.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's right. I had to communicate that.
Correct. Correct. It's, to me, it's no different than you having a torn ACL and then you got a brace on and tell your kids don't jump on my leg. It's like
I like how
I'm just explaining to you how, because I heard my daughter when I think she was 11 or 12, I heard her over say, I'm scared of my father.
oh my God.
I wasn't violent, but she could not run and jump on me. I've been going all day. I come home. What they want to do? They want to jump on that. Oh, you can't do that.
Right.
I just done battled with traffic. I just done. Oh, now let me. So it was. They lived through a period of me coming home, and they have to give me time to woosah. It's just so much that we try to do to make sure we are productive in the life of our family.
In the midst of
In the
PTSD.
midst of people. I never forget, and know this is you, but I was talking to my therapist over the phone. We had a FaceTime. He said,
Mm-hmm.
you don't sound right. You don't look right. You need to come to my office right now. I was having suicidal thoughts. She knew me well enough to say, no, I need you in my office. And it was like, because we're not going to say that.
She was right though, wasn't she?
She was 100% right.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
when you say we have to have those people in our life who know when we're not ourselves. My wife was sending the therapist a message. Hey, he's not himself today. And we have
Oh,
to
that's
be okay.
good.
Yeah, we have to be okay with that. Yeah,
You know what? You shared this. I stick by this. People look at me and people idolize the person I am. If I was to leave Earth right now, I'm tell you everybody tell the same story about me,
okay.
right? Um, but even now it's still a struggle. My success has not healed the pain that I deal with every day.
Okay.
It's the mascot. I still battle with it every day with all the accolades that I have, Bernard. I still don't feel like I have accomplished anything.
Okay.
And that's because every day it's a constant battle, right? It's a constant battle of not knowing what will be poked today. And that's me. I'm such a mental person that's the control. I try to go ahead and control things that may happen to me, but it's the unknown that I'm unsure of. And so that's what my anxiety, I'm always on eggshells every day when I leave. Oh my gosh, somebody going to tell me, like get too close to my car. Something going to jump out in front of the car, like what happened when I was overseas when something jumped out in front of my truck. Like
Yes.
I'm
And you can't
always,
stop. You got to keep going.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, why I can't just be the person that wake up and happy and smiling. My mind is just free.
Yeah.
And that's not the life that's not my mind.
Right.
That's not right. And so my faith is strong. Right?
Has to be.
Oh my God.
Yes.
My faith is strong. And because of that, I know that's why I'm here. And I say this because I've had multiple suicide attempts.
Okay.
I don't mind sharing that.
And
Because I know that's my message from God to people to say, sometimes you're not always how you look.
Come on now.
Okay.
And I want to let folks know, if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed by the content that she's sharing right now, please step away and regroup.
Yes.
Trying to trigger you. But go ahead, Miss Deborah.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. And I'm being transparent because I want you all to know that we wear these masks and these mascots for so long.
Come on.
Because we try to protect others because they don't understand. We try to protect others because we don't want to impose the things that we're feeling because we know how it feels. But at the same time, we're not protecting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're not protecting ourselves, it becomes so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. To the point where it can take you to a point where you feel like everything and everybody else is better without you, but it's only inside of here.
Will you say that? Lord have mercy.
It's only inside of here. And that's where the lack of control that we have had for so long. Hurry up and wait. Eat now, taste later.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the mission and conquer it. Whatever happens, we'll deal with it. And that's it.
That's
right?
It. That's it.
That's been our life for over 20 years or however long you've done that.
Someone
Not just the military.
Someone
Go
dies,
ahead,
you see
Bernard.
the boot. Someone dies, you see the boots, the rifle, and the helmet. Let's have the ceremony. Now let's regroup those thoughts and let's move on.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You get the roll call, you don't hear their name.
Yeah.
You back on mission the next day.
That's right.
You was just with your battle buddy one day, and then the next day you're not.
It is amazing. I had a neighbor when I retired and moved back home. I think I was 7 months away from Iraq. And I retired in 6 months and was back, and my neighbor had passed. And I was so nonchalant with, okay, time for the burn, let's move on. Because that I had to apologize to the spouse and be like, I was not being cold or anything. That was just the mindset of I can't feel anything. I don't want to feel anything.
Right. And that's where I'm like, even close people to me that pass, I can grieve then. And after a while, I'm like, it's something that you learn. It's a learned behavior. The military teaches you how to turn it on, compartmentalize, suppress, move on.
Move on with the mission.
But you're not truly dealing with it. And so when it shows its face again and it comes back, that's where things come in at. I know, Bernard, I know my second child is he was my angel.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay.
Because my first son went through all 3 deployments with me. Right. I left him a lot. But my second child, that's when I decided to get out the military, because my first child said to me, Mom, so you're gonna keep leaving us? You're gonna keep leaving me? So when he said that to me, I appreciate the grace of him allowing me to even get to the point where I could retire. Right. Okay. Because my goal was to become I know I could have became a 1-star general. Anything I put in here, I conquer. That's me. Correct. Anything I put in here, I conquer. So I knew I was on the fast track. I already been a general's aide. I already knew I was on a track where I could become a 1-star. But when my son said that to me, I knew that I had to make some changes. And so the last incident where I felt like I was nothing to them, I was better, without them. My youngest, he does this to me all the time. He asks me 5-6 times a day. I don't care where he is. Mom, you're okay? Mom, you're good? He just come, Mom, I love you. He kissed me all day. Oh, Bernard, I mean,
they should do it
all the time. So, and the other day when I was sitting down, I was having a conversation with God, and I said, God, okay, I know I got it. Lord, I just thank you for everything I have. I thank you for the stress. I thank you for the hard times, because I know it's a point in it all. I know it's a silver lining in it all. I was like, but God, I know I got to deal with this stuff in my head, and I've been dealing with it, God, I have. But I need for you to show me that every day when I'm feeling this, if I don't feel like talking to anybody, what is the one sign that I know I got? And you know what? My 6-year-old walked right in the bathroom, like where I was getting ready to go. Because where my bathroom is my walk-in closet. He came in and he grabbed my leg and he hugged my leg tight and said, "Mommy, you are so beautiful. And I want you to know, what we say, Mommy, you are so beautiful. And I want you to know I love you so, so much." Wow. I cried, right? When I cry, he'll say, he'll do this. He'll say, "Mommy, you okay?" And I said, "Mommy's okay. Mommy's just so glad that God brought you into my life." "You are, Mommy? You so glad that God brought me into your life?" I said, "Yes." Wow, that's my sign. Right, I tell you, right. Because I didn't want any more kids. My first son has sickle cell disease, and so I've almost lost him a few times. So I knew the battle of his illness. I said, "God, this is it. This is it. No more. This all I can deal with. Late nights at the hospitals, having a blood and cancer disorder. This while I'm serving the military, this while when I'm getting out, my son at the CHKD for nights, and I don't talk about that much. Right. Because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Yeah. Right? I don't. Bernard, the only people that need to know are the people that truly, I know what they ask is because they really want to know and want to help.
Correct. And this one of the main things I had to get over. Me sharing stuff on social media about mental health, didn't want people to think I'm looking for a sympathy.
Right.
I had to get over that. Like, I don't give a blankety blank what y'all think. If I can help a person, that's what I'm going to do. Period.
Bernard, and that comes with growth.
Yes, it does.
That comes with growth. That comes with doing the hard work. Bernard, we have done the hard work, and we're still doing the hard work.
Yes.
Bernard, do you know how many relationships didn't make it?
Yes.
And still struggling now?
Yes. And see, this is one of the I think one of the hardest things that happened to me and family in my family is people that knew me before I went to the war. Then when I came back from the war, those people that know me after the war only, they good because that's all they know is Vernon. But there's some other people that say but he wasn't like that before he left. Yeah. I want that person back.
Come on, Bernard. That person back. Come on now.
Totally different. My ex-wife said I died over there, and which is true. That Vernon died. This is a total different. This is who I am now.
Bernard, man, that's deep. I've never heard anybody say that. That person died over there. Mm-hmm. Like, and you know who that person was? That was the core of me.
Correct.
Bernard, that was the core of me. That was the person that was free. That was the person that laughed all the time. That was the person that didn't take the littlest things, as my therapist say, I hit a fly with a sledgehammer. Oh, she always tell me that. He said, she said, your life now is you hit a fly with a sledgehammer. That's my life now. And God knows every day I'm not proud of. I tell my husband, he'll say to me often, you know what, these people, they don't know the old Debbie. That's what he'll say. He said, if they only knew. And I'll say, it's like, it make me feel bad because I do want them to see the old me, but it's God's purpose for them to see the me now.
There you go.
You hear me?
There you go.
Do you hear me? Yep. It's God's purpose because all of the things that I have gone through have made me the person that I am now. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I can reach, teach, talk, and help as many people because of what I've been through. And if I had to go through that to get to somebody else, then God, thank you for choosing me. Because I'm still here, Bernard. I'm still here.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm still here, Bernard. And guess what? It's the sacrifice. If I had to be the one to sacrifice, I still pray for the ones because the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice to that's not here, they still paved the way.
Correct.
They still paved the way. But Bernard, this platform that you have, when I tell you, when I met you that night, and when you did your stand-up, people that didn't serve in the military could relate. When you can touch somebody and make them laugh and understand when they haven't been through it, that is truly your mission and your purpose. It was not let me tell you, everybody in there laughed. From one joke to the next joke to the next joke. It's like everybody was waiting. At some point, I'm always nervous when it's a comedian that goes up who's not like, your Kevin Hart's or whatever. And I say that you're not Kevin. Let me say, let me back up. No, hold on. I got to make this clear. Because everybody that's licensed shouldn't be licensed. Everybody that's rich shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? And they're rich because of whatever they have done in that moment to get that spotlight. Correct. But let me tell you this. The comedians who truly step out to build who they are, they're the ones that people look at and hope that they do good on their stand-up, right? Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't have that dull moment where he tried to figure it out. He or she tried to figure it out.
Right.
And you a pro up there. You was a pro. When I tell you, and people tell you I'm so transparent, right? I think I can be honest with people and tell them things they need to help them in the midst of still being very compassionate and empathetic. I do have that gift. Okay. So if I would have said, look, you was good, but maybe you need to, right? It still would have touched you in a way where, you know what? Thank you for that constructive feedback. But for you, I was over there. Look, let me tell you, I love to laugh, right? All this right here was hurting. I couldn't wait to hear the next joke. I was like, dang, he about to end. I wish he was a little bit longer, like for real. I understood him and he hit on everything. And it's all true.
That is amazing you say that.
You're not even lying. Like people make up jokes. Yours true. And it's funny.
Got to be. Listen, y'all, we are talking to Miss Deborah Vines-Epps. Listen, she has given us some great, just great advice, just great insight to what it is being her. But in these last couple of minutes, I want you just to tell folks about the presidential funeral services, where you're located, what you do, and how can people contact you.
Okay, so I'm going to say this and tie into that. This was the main reason why presidential is here. Okay. Our funeral home, of course, its mission is to take those families in a form where they're most vulnerable, right? Where they need help, they need guidance, and they need expertise to help them navigate through this time of bereavement. Mm-hmm. That's the sole purpose of a funeral home. But presidential, being a veteran, when God gave me the vision and said, I need for you to open up a funeral home. See, my plan was to have my retirement, my disability, and the cleaning company. All those three together, it's awesome, right? We're good. And we do shows here and there because, again, music is therapy too. And my husband loves music. Okay. So I said, Andre, God said, open up a funeral home. And since he's known me, he always said, you are different. Like everything, like even when we met, I was like, look, I'm sinning. Like, I don't even know if this is even the right thing to do. Cause when we do this, I know it's not right. He was like, yo, you the only person that I know that really put you. I mean, he said, not the only person, but you put God in everything. I'm like, that's how I have gotten this far with even my decisions. Right. And so he was like, oh Lord, I know if God told you, I know what that means. Even if I say no, you gonna still do it. Right. So I was like, all right. I said, Lord, I don't want to open up no funeral home. Like, why? Why? And so fast forward, something happened in my family where, there was some losses on my mom's side and my dad's side. In the midst of all of that, God was saying, look at everybody. Everybody trying to figure it out. There was no pre-barrier. There was no pre-planning. There was nothing in place. People trying to figure out how to get the money here. So that it connected. And I said, okay, where do I start? What do I do? And so with developing a funeral home and getting with one of my best friends, Leticia, who is a pioneer. And for me, I never thought about open up a business really with anybody else because I know how I am, right? Yeah. Correct. But if it's the one person that I know, if she wanted to, she's a licensed therapist too. She's LPC, but just the person she is, I know that with our relationship that we pretty much balance each other out. And so with talking to her, creating this vision, I said, I want to help veterans too. I want to give back to the veterans, not only to the people who are non-veterans, but veterans because it's something special about us. And this is where I tied into the funeral home. When you are discharging from the military, I think it's is it TAPS for us too?
Yeah, these TAPS.
What's it? Transitional Assistance Program.
Services.
Yes. All right. Yep. A lot of people don't listen to TAPS, and I know y'all out there laughing because y'all just go through the class because I know you about to retire. You get all these paperwork, you don't listen to it, you don't do what you're supposed to do, right? So this is where I fill the gap. I make sure when I get calls all the time, and we get messages through the website, which is presidentialfuneralservices.com. There is a link for services, free services, veteran services. Send an email, send us a message on what you need help with. These are veterans and non-veterans because we have spouses, we have dependents who don't know their benefits as well. And when their loved one passed, who's the veteran, they don't know what their options are. Okay. So, Presidential Funeral Service is located at 1629. That's 1629 High Street in Portsmouth, Virginia, right across the street from your IC Norcom. And right, know about IC Norcom in Portsmouth, right? Yeah, right? We are located there. The veteran service that we provide is the pre-burial. That's what Albert G. Horton, which is now free for your spouse as well. We go ahead and do the.
Hold on. I told my wife she can't come there. That's just my time. She ain't coming to talk to me, telling me get up and clean. That's my time to rest in peace. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got you, wife. I got it. Matter of fact, the wives are the ones that. Hey, look, Bernard, when they come to the funeral home, they're the ones that fill out the most information. All the husband do is bring the DD-214.
That's true.
Or the veteran. They bring that, and the spouse fill everything out. So I got her with that.
All right.
You come. You fill out your pre-certification application. I then send that over to Albert G. Horton. Guess what happens now?
What's that?
You now have a certificate that comes in the mail that you are now registered and pre-certified. So when something happens, that's already done. Your burial is free. Don't worry about scrambling. That is done. The second thing is I say, look, are you disabled? What's your percentage? If you have a percentage already, even if it's 0%, that's a start. Okay. We need to go ahead and get you registered at the Hampton VA Medical Center. Get you registered first. Then they will decide where you go. This is for my people who needs that medical care. Anything that you have your service connection for, you can be seen for that free at the VA facilities. Okay. Whether it's a remote location, the C box, whether it's Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, if you want to stay on this side of the water, you can, which means your south side, okay? The peninsula is your Hampton, Newport News, and your Williamsburg area, all right? But you have to register. And this is what I do, Bernard. I don't know where to go, Miss Deborah. Don't worry about it. I will meet you there. I meet them there. I take them to the registration. I get them registered. I tell them what to bring. And then I walk them over for their primary care physician and their mental health connect so they can get started. That's what I do. That's all free.
That's a service.
It's free, right?
Right.
And so it is all you have to do is reach out. Reach out. Presidentialfuneralservices.com. And if you want to email, it's presidentialfuneralservices@gmail. Our number is 757-966-1585. Again, that's 757-966-1585. You can find us on TikTok at Presidential Funeral Services, where you can see some of our services. You can find us on Facebook at presidentialfuneralservices.com. But you can do a virtual tour on our website too at presidentialfuneralservices.com. We give you a virtual tour. You can meet the team. You can send any questions, but you also have access to one of the owners. Right? Direct access. I am a major. I retired as a major, but I have made lieutenant colonel, but I turned it down. Right? So I retired as a major. I am 3-tour combat war era veteran. Right? And I know what, I
said, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I don't know, but I think I'm a little bit younger than you, so you paved the way for me.
All right, I received.
You paved the way for me.
I
And I
receive.
appreciate you for that. I do. I do.
Thank
So
you.
I'm here for you all. I hope that you all got some advice, some information, and just know that it's okay to feel how you feel. A teacher tell me this all the time. She say, stay in it. Stay in
Yeah.
what you feel. It's okay. All right.
Wow.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter if I tell people wealth is not money.
Mm-hmm.
You can still have a lot of money and still be poor in
Come on
spirit.
now.
My
Come on.
goal is to make sure I'm wealthy in mind, body, and spirit, because if they're imbalanced, one affects the other. When my physical is off balance, my spiritual becomes off balance. And my spiritual is off balance, everything else, my physical and my mental, starts to do this. Acknowledge where you are, see where you are, tap into your resources. Veterans, you all have access. All you have to do is just go to a va.gov website. It gives you everything that you need. I don't care any state. It gives you, all state has different laws, but it gives you everything that you need. And if you are that spouse and that dependent, and if you feel like you can't go to your spouse, they have resources for you too. It's resources on the va.gov website, and it's for dependents and for spouses as well, because you all can talk to people too for free.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Bernard, I could talk all day, all day about this, but I
I
know
know.
we're limited. I just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk, because it's also hard, but I have learned how to be vulnerable, and being vulnerable is the strength and the richness within me.
Come on now.
It is. That's my
Listen.
rich. That's my wealth.
You are you. We both are, because we don't mind giving away.
Mhm.
That's
We
what we do.
don't.
We giving it away, and I tell people stuff that we do is for our therapy also.
Woo!
It's not just I need to do what I do.
I do.
And you need to do.
Bernard, I
I
do.
need to. So yeah,
Bernard, you right.
I need
Like,
to.
my giving back helps me here.
That's right.
But I also know when to take a break. Like, if I have to stop, I say, you know what? And I tell people not right now, and they understand.
Yeah, I just love when my wife tell me go to bed, take a nap.
Don't you like that?
I love it
Don't
because I don't know how to do it myself. And my therapist has told me I can also just say, hey, I don't have the mental capacity to handle that right now.
Woo! And I use that. I say, look,
That's right. I don't have the
my
mental
mental
capacity.
capacity. Yeah, and see, for women, it's different. See,
Oh yeah,
men,
y'all got to do it all.
women is different. When I
That's
come
right.
home, or I got to be a wife, a
Mm-hmm.
mom, and
Mm-hmm.
still handle stuff with the business. It's
Mm-hmm.
different for men. You all, cause it's like y'all just in this bubble. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry, because
Because
guys
I'm
do
about to
say,
cut you off right then. I'm about to cut you
I
off. Just so
don't
you know
know.
that.
Okay, hold on. I have to apologize, because I do. This is where we do not give the credit to our men all the time. You all allow us to have the capacity that we do. Let me say that. Y'all do. You all do. Y'all do. Y'all allow us to have the capacity that we do. And at the same time, you all go through it when we go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
I heard, it was one guy, he put on Facebook, he said, they always say for men it's easier, for us it's not easier, because I got to make sure the bacon stay on the table.
Mm.
Right? I got to make sure the food, I got to make sure the bill's taken care of. I got to make sure if things isn't right, I got to hear what's going on in the house between everybody else, and still keep my sanity too.
That's
Guys
right.
just deal with things different than how we do, because we are emotional
We got to
creatures.
pause for 1 second. All right, I'm sorry. Ooh, my wife got me drinking that water. I had to make a break for it. Would have been a
Good
mess right here when
wifey,
she got home. But I tell you
good
what, it'd been a
wifey,
mess when she got home. But anyway, listen,
good
y'all, we are
wifey, good
talking
wifey.
to Ms. Deborah Vines-Epps. She is CEO, owner of Presidential Funeral
Yep,
Service. She's also a retired Army veteran, major, and she has a lot of resources. So again, tell
yep.
people where can they find you to get these resources.
All right. So you all can find me on, well, so I have a podcast. It is Talk Yo Talk. You can find me, that's on Facebook, and that is on YouTube as well. You can also find me at, this is my email address, info@DeborahVinesEpps.com. So that's INFO at Deborah, like my name on the screen, Deborah Vines-Epps, do not put the hyphen.com. Send me an email. Okay. But the main thing is, most people have access to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. A lot of people send me messages on my Facebook Messenger. A lot of people do. Okay. I'm the person, I'm extremely busy, but I balance my time, and I have a calendar that I go by for sure. So once you message me, give me at least 24 hours to get back to you. I will also give you the business number, which is 757-966-1585. And 757-966-1585, and say, hi, I want to talk to Deborah. I need more information. I just need to, talk to her about anything. Whatever it is, contact me. All right. If it's just about veteran stuff, pre-burial stuff, tiny giant with cleaning, whatever, you will have access to me that way. And even if you just want to talk about whatever you're going through, I'm open to that too. I'll open that up to Bernard. Yeah.
All right. Well, Ms. Deborah, we thank you. And right now you are released from the stigma-free zone. And I know people are talking about, you can see this. So if you listen to the podcast only, you can go to my YouTube page, The Laugh Therapist, and you can actually see the video that we are doing also. So this is a podcast interview as well as a video podcast interview. Thank you, Ms. Deborah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Whenever you're
Thank you. Be intentional. Bye.